Going live with Johnny.
And he's back.
Trying to fix the echo. See if it was on mine.
Yeah.
It's like when I speak, I'm hearing myself back.
It doesn't echo over here on my end. There's no echo.
So we may not have that static noise tonight. We'll have an echo. So for those that didn't catch it, Johnny and I went live last night and did a deep dive on Charlie Kirk. You got any Charlie Kirk questions? Go watch that video. We asked a lot. And also the singer David, D4VD. We did some readings on him and his little murder investigation on his girlfriend. How's everybody tonight?
Fantastic.
I don't know if Braxy's going to be joining us to read. She's got her little card over there. She was playing with the Emperor. She was clicking it earlier, but she's got the Emperor. There's another one over there. I can't see because it's upside down. And her
She's taking a bite out of the patriarchy.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if she's going to be joining us or if she's just going to lay there like a bump on a log. I just gave her dinner early too. So
she's a good reader.
She's a very good reader. We had chicken for dinner tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah, she was very happy.
So Johnny and I are going live with Becca next Sunday night, even though I'll be in Portland. Johnny and I'll be side by side with.
And Lena will be joining us. She asked to join us on Sunday. So I told her I would send her out the invite, so she'll be with us next week. Hi, Mom.
For those coming to the seminar, see you Wednesday night. If you can't, when you schedule a reading with me or seminar or anything, and you don't get a confirmation email from me, those are automated from my website. Check your spam folder. Usually there's info in the spam folder. So like the address of the school we're having the seminar at, the times and dates and all that. The school is directly across the street from the recommended hotel. But I'm doing personal readings. People are telling me they're not getting the confirmations like they used to get. It's like, check your spam folder. I don't know why all of a sudden, I think it's a Google thing or something. It's marking me as spam now.
Oh, you're going to be in the Portland war zone, you guys.
Oh, yeah.
The war zone.
I'm taking my, the only dictator I accept is my cat t-shirt.
I've been seeing all the TikToks of people walking all over downtown Portland and all over Portland. Like,
there's nothing going on. They're trying to act like it's a war zone.
There's nobody there. Not the National Guard, not the military, nobody.
A handful of protesters at the small ice station.
We're not close to the ice facility, so we'll be fine.
We won't be near it. I might make you walk over there, Johnny.
Meanwhile, there's been, 4 mass shooting in 24 hours? I don't see him deploying the military in those places.
No.
He didn't deploy him to Utah where his best friend got taken down.
Tickets to the park.
A gunman in North Carolina got on a boat and shot at a bunch of people at a restaurant. And send the Coast Guard and the National Guard and the Navy and everybody else out to North Carolina. He won't. It's all for the love of God or the goddess. Just strike him down already. I'm so sick of it. I'm just so sick of it.
So what you got going on this week, Becca? Anything?
No, just hanging out with Braxy, and she's a good girl. She's right over there. on the floor. I made room for her over here, but she's too lazy. She doesn't want to come up here.
Get sunshine. Becca's been crocheting a lot. You should show them your blankets. They're beautiful.
This is the one I finished. I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. The other 3 I just have to put borders on them, but
it's so pretty.
yeah, there's one of them. I like the colors. It's like a rainbow. You know? Can you see that? It's like a rainbow, but yeah, I've been doing that, and that's about it. That's all I got going on. I thought it was going to be, it was 80 degrees over here today. I said, what in the hell? What in the hell? I thought it was supposed to be, like yesterday, it was super gloomy, nice and cool. Today I go to the store. I went to the store at 6 o'clock this morning to Winco to get a couple of things, and Trader Joe's wasn't open yet, so I went back later in the afternoon. When I got in my car, it said it was 80 degrees. I said, we're a couple of days away from October. Hello, let's get on this, you know. But
we were warm today, but it's cooling off later this week. We're in the 40s and 50s at night, but in the daytime it's getting up close to 80, so it warms up.
Yeah.
But at night it starts getting so chilly. I have to go kick the heat on a little bit because all the cats start piling up on me.
Hold on,
looking for a hot water bottle.
I'm going to shut my blinds because the sun's coming in.
Yeah, I see the sunshine. Thank you, Mara. So I'm probably going to have to leave the heat on in the house when I leave town. My pet sitter just adores Lucy, so she's going to have fun. The other little ones are shy around strangers. They look at you from a distance like, what? Who's that? They're very judgmental.
Next week, or this week, Portland forecast. Tuesday is 65, and it kind of remains in that area from about 65 to 68 degrees. So dress accordingly. We are at the top of the world though, so the world is still wobbling back and forth because of the season changing. So you don't have to bring like all your winter clothes, but if you get cold fast, then you know what to do. But at nighttime, it's going to be very chilly. So we're going to go down into the low 50s. And so bear that in mind. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it may rain because, Pacific Northwest. So
Thank you, Courtney.
Just be prepared for that. Do dress comfortable for the seminar, though.
Yeah, don't be dressing up too much. Be comfortable because we're up and down and on massage tables and all kinds of stuff. I usually take a baseball cap and carry it in my handbag, so if it starts raining, I can put it on quick.
If you hear the squeaky, that's Braxy reading her tarot cards.
Probably won't need you might not need a coat during the day, but you'll definitely want one at night, some kind of wrap.
You want one during the day too. You maybe the afternoon you just like a light something or cardigan or something like that. But early in the morning when you're coming to the seminar that first day, because you're going to be up at 8 and 9 o'clock, you're going to want. Well, I mean, if you're in the hotel, then it's just right across the street. But if you're going to go walk around the city, then you may want something to put on, and it's we're not by the ICE facility, so you can walk around the city, mind you, and no one's ever reported that it's our military. It's not like Russians are patrolling our streets or something.
Thank you, Mike. My favorite tacos when you have free time are down at Pioneer Square. It's just a few blocks down from the hotel. There's a food cart that has tacos and stuff like that, and I love their tacos.
The name every time, but it's in the same spot.
It's right on the corner.
TACOFITA, Taco Fita.
Braxy, are you pulling cards already?
You think I want to? Look at her.
But there's 150, bring your stretchy pants. There's 150,000 things on one street to eat. So bear that in mind. There's a vegan place right down the street from the hotel too, called Fresh Veggie, Chris Veggie something, Veggie Plus, Veggie First. It's Veggie something. Very good. I ate there, and I mean, I like vegan food anyway, but it's very good. There's a Chinese place down the street. There's a Belizean place down the street. There's an ice cream place down the street. There's a Starbucks down the street. There's a tea house down the street.
There's Starbucks down the street any way you go. there's a Chinese place down the street. There's also a little shopping grocery store up the hill. So
there's a pizza place nearby
for your room.
There's no fast food, more fast food chains anywhere. So if you're looking for a Wendy's, there are none. But if you want a hamburger, there's plenty of those, and chicken wings and all that kind of stuff there. There's a Filipino place down the street too.
Johnny and I have found our favorite places for like hamburger or Chinese or this or that. So just stop us and we'll point you in the right direction.
it's just walk, you'll find something. Just make sure you can get back to where you need to be. But any direction you go from where the facility is or the hotel, you'll find something, guaranteed.
So for the person that was saying, yes, Braxy is a Mastiff. She's an Italian Mastiff, a Cane Corso. So yeah, she's a Mastiff. Over here.
Yeah, she's a massive Mastiff.
What are you doing, Brax?
Her head is so big. She cracks me up.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone who wants to book a reading with me, jinlintarot.com. There's openings at the end of October and November. Might be an opening in October. I'm not sure. And then November, I'm taking some time off at Thanksgiving and at Christmas. So there's a little more limited appointment times in November, December.
I love her jowls, Florence. I like to grab them and go like this to them. Or like make it look like she's flying. I love them.
There's a comedian, Ron White. He says he takes his dog's jowls, he says, and he hide M&Ms and stuff in there.
Becca, a lot of times will pick up her jowls and flap them.
Right.
Wow. Well,
let's see. The French want to see. Look.
She's like Skewy. Thank you, Courtney. Skewy doesn't care what you do with them. Y'all are going to see me slapping around the air tonight. I've got gnats in here, like fruit flies or something. I can't figure out where they're coming from. Usually when I get fruit flies in the house, it means the last time I had Tangelos, Roro probably was playing with one and hid it under something, and it's like rotting.
So there's two different types of those things. There's a fruit fly and there's a gnat. And a fruit fly is small and black, and that comes from your fruit and all that stuff. A gnat is small and brown, and it's coming out of your sink because it's attracted to the water. And so if it flies close enough, see if it's brown or black, and then it'll tell you where it's coming from.
I ran a bunch of water down my sinks because I was seeing them in the kitchen. But now they're starting to fly into here. And I hand wash dishes because our water's so bad it clogs up my dishwasher with calcium, so it jacks it up. So I hand wash all my dishes.
I wash the fruits and vegetables that I keep out on the counter. I wash them because Peanut buys bananas all the time and he sets them on the counter, and then we have gnats everywhere. It's like because they're on the freaking bananas. You have to wash them. Yeah. So. He
also puts empty peanut butter jars in the pantry. I'll never forget that.
If there is one thing that will send me from 0 to 100 in like 0.1 second is Peanut putting empty stuff back in the damn pantry. It's like the garbage can is right there. You went through all the trouble of opening up a door and putting it back on the shelf. And you
drop it in the garbage can.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. I live with a 50-year-old child,
So is every woman that married in America.
Oh, man.
Well, let's start with Netanyahu. booed at the UN convention, and everybody applauding everybody that's walking out, like massive walkout, massive, while he's trying to talk, massive walkout, and people cheering everybody walking out, and everybody's got their phones filming it. There was hardly anybody left in there. And then
what I don't understand, I applaud them for doing that. But at the same time, he has an arrest warrant out. You all could have arrested his ass like that. So while I applaud what they were doing, there's a part of me that's like, that was performative because you could have arrested him. But,
what was it? Some of the things he was saying, Becca, in his speech? Because I got so caught up watching people walk out, I missed what he was saying.
So apparently, and this is what has been going around TikTok. When people got up and left, he made a statement that those that are leaving won't be here tomorrow, which sounded a bit like a threat to me.
Sounds a bit thready.
And it's TikTok, so I can't tell you the whole speech. So somebody could have easily cut that piece out to make it sound that way. So I'm not sure of the context. But those words don't leave much ambiguity or nuance. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he did another interview, I think after the UN, where he said that it was very important for the acquisition of TikTok because he needs to it's very important for him to have social media because of the woke MAGA Christians, not the woke left, not the radical leftist, communist, fascist, Marxist, whatever the hell, because these bastards just throw around terms, even though none of those things are ideologically aligned. But he said that it was important for the U.S. to take control of TikTok because of the woke Christian. And he also made a statement about how his friendship with Elon Musk will help him push the message of pro-Israel on TikTok on Twitter. I'm sorry. All he has to do is call him up. So just sit with that for a minute.
Oracle, who's buying TikTok.
Just sit with that for a minute. You have a leader of a country who has an arrest warrant out for him, who is currently committing genocide and has a history of dragging our country into a bunch of wars that it starts, is now openly admitting, yeah, we need social media. We need the social media to run propaganda so that we have the support of the American people to go to war for the wars that we start. So, and I'm tired of this whole conversation of if you say anything against the Israeli government, you're anti-Semitic. Fuck that. I'm sorry for my language.
There's a lot of Jewish people. Bernie Sanders is one, Jewish, but not in support of what Netanyahu's doing.
The Hasidic Jews in Israel are protesting him. Hasidic Jews are protesting him.
Well, he's meeting with Trump this week, supposedly to talk about peace deals. I guess they need one more bid for the Nobel Peace Prize. And had to love Trump getting his elevator getting stuck and trying to get up. He couldn't get raptured up on his escalator.
I saw a lady on TikTok that did this whole analogy of the entire thing, and she was reaching and looking at it through a spiritual lens, and she was saying that the mechanism of ascension denied him ascending. She's like, the universe speaks in metaphor. I was like, yeah, well,
Maddie mentioned it in his speech. So Netanyahu, what should we ask about this? Was that a real threat? Is he threatening other countries with war or war crimes?
Well, he's already threatened China. Did you hear that? He openly threatened China. He said China is fighting Hamas in Beijing, and they're going to go in there and whoop China's ass. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to send us, our men and women.
Yeah, 'cause they're a little bitty country. They don't have the kind of people to fight a country of 1.6 billion people.
He's already talking crap to China. I'm like, here we go.
He's more nuts than Trump.
He's going to drag us into a war because he's got Trump by the balls and he's leading him around by the nose. You know?
Well, Trump wants a war. You know, it's stuck in his head when Zelensky said that they can't have elections, you know, in Ukraine. It's in their constitution or whatever in a time of war.
Well, tough shit, because we were in war during little Bush's time and we still had elections, you know, so. So was he threatening other countries at the UN?
Getting Johnny.
I think it was posturing. However, I do believe he is about to issue a strike on someone. And mind you, that popped up in Trump's tableau too. And this is coming soon because I got the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is anticipation. So the other shoe is about to drop within the month. First card was the Five of Swords, dishonorable behavior, the bully. And then there is your, we'll call them projectiles with the Eight of Wands. And then there is your attack with the Knight of Swords. And it ends in the Seven of Swords. And so he is about to issue some sort of strike on someone.
Well, Iran.
Well, there's them too.
Iran, because he started bombing the flotillas. Remember, you guys? With civilians in international waters. So finally, Spain and Italy said, So Spain and Italy sent warships to protect the flotilla. And then Iran is sending out warships, last I checked, from what was being reported. And Greece is also sending out, like, the whole world is turning its back on Israel. Because it's gotten to the point where what you're doing is atrocious. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just war crimes. And it wouldn't surprise me if Russia wasn't involved because...
Well, Russia's on the way over there.
Because
Russia's on the way to Israel to stop them because Russia,
emissary to the king, like he's working with someone else and he feels blocked or whatever. So he's signaling to others while he lays low. So yeah, he's partnered with somebody to create all kinds of big change and trouble. Somebody bigger than him. And then he's just going to sit by and watch it. They're trying to figure out how to manipulate America. So a lot of what he was saying was to try to signal to Americans and see how they respond.
And Jen, Russia was sending warships to Israel because remember, they're allied with Iran. So I'm just saying.
An image of strength doesn't mean you have strength. An image of strength. What are you getting, Becca?
Was he threatening the Storks, the Scythe, the Anchor? A veiled threat, I would say, because he's not making progress, but his goal, he will achieve his goal of a strike. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like him. He's acting with impunity, even though the entire world is turning his back on. They're back on him. He's still going to act with impunity. He will reach his goal of striking, if that makes any sense. So
probably joins Trump in Venezuela.
Don't even get me started with that whole message. You guys, speaking of, if you have not seen it, I have posted a video to my shorts on YouTube. It is a video that has resurfaced from 2001. From 2001, it was from Democracy Now!, which I like because they look at everything globally. It's not corporate media like here in America where everything is, oh, Trump almost fell down the stairs. Oh, Trump was out golfing. Like it's the real stuff that's going on globally. There was a video of Netanyahu in 2001 when he got caught and recorded talking about how his plan was to undermine the treaty, to attack Palestine, and then manipulate the U.S. into Palestine. And he said, "Don't worry, I know America. They won't be a problem. I know how to move them around." So, and that was from 2001. So I'm just saying.
Well, speaking of the Venezuelan boats, why is Trump targeting the Venezuelan boats? Because we know they're not drug dealers. Why is he targeting? Is it just another, let me start a war somewhere? So, because now the Colombian president is calling for an investigation on Trump.
Energy.
So they're oil.
Yep, energy. And he thinks that it'll help him rise as well. It's a new opportunity for him to rise, but ultimately it's energy. So if it's oil or minerals or whatever, he's going after energy and to help him rise or improve. Going to war with the third world country is not going to help you. It's not going to help your poll numbers. Especially, did you guys hear? While the farmers are going bankrupt, he sent $2 billion to his buddy down in
Argentina.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I think part of it's distraction, create chaos, distract from the Epstein thing because he's losing, and he wants people to have a different perspective of him here in America. And there's more investigations coming into the government, so it's there's payoffs going on. Somebody paid him to do this, like quid pro quo, like, hey, go after Venezuela. So could be an energy company or something, but it's all messaging, and he's got secret partnerships going on, treachery planned, more attacks planned, but it's about the oligarchy here in America. Truth is coming, just not fast enough. There's no reason to be bombing these boats. What you getting, Johnny?
I get image and distraction. The first two cards, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups. Look at me. Look at not what I'm trying to do, but just look at me and what's going on. I got the real reason is hidden, the Moon and the Hermit. And so I clarified, and what is it since it's hidden? He is trying to elevate someone while taking resources. So he may be trying to like establish a leader or put somebody in place. Like the long game is to remove anyone that is in opposition and put in, just like he's doing here, and put in people who are yes men or who will continue his world order type of thing. Because there's your Seven of Wands, the elevation of the important person, with the Six of Wands, and then the Six of Pentacles is giving resources or payoffs or things of that nature. And so trying to establish some sort of world order type of thing.
So the Colombia president calling to investigate Trump for war crimes and things, will that go anywhere? Will anything be revealed? Because he's affecting the entire world, as he said, and all the propaganda and all that. Anything be revealed?
No. Four of Pentacles holding close to the chest type thing. You have to also understand, people of the world outside of the U.S., we have tried to investigate and indict and imprison and impeach and all these different types of things. And it goes well sometimes and then not so much the other times. But there is the Justice card and the Knight of Swords. So this would be like the hero coming in to put some justice on. But the Six of Cups, innocence, and then the Queen of Pentacles, people cherish their relationship with him. And so therefore, it's not going to go anywhere, because how are you going to get to him? It's not like you're going to drag him into court and he's going to show up. So,
Unless you hack him or something.
yeah.
Nope. You can indict him for war crimes the day that you indict Little Bush for war crimes. Don't hold your breath, because it ain't coming. But if you want to hope, go ahead. You'll just be disappointed. I get a no.
Yeah. Yeah. Holding it close to the chest, and the burden makes everybody anxious. They know who Trump is working with. They already know the details. They know who in the world is causing all these problems, who he's partnering with, the celebrity who's out there having a good time, but they're stuck. They can't move forward on this. So it's not going to do any good.
Do it anyway. I mean, that's what we do here. But, just to say that somebody in history stood up to him. Do it anyway, but...
They've never... Ronald Reagan got away with crimes.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't indict him because they didn't want to set the precedent. Nixon got away with crimes. They didn't indict him because they didn't want to set the precedent. Bush committed crimes. They didn't want to indict him because they didn't want to set the precedent. Then you get the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst, who incited an insurrection against his own government. They indicted him, but they never took him to trial, because we don't do that here in America. We don't send rich white men that were presidents to prison. So,
and mind you, for 4 years, they said the exact same thing you're saying. They didn't want to do it while he was president because they didn't want to set the precedent of doing this to a sitting president. So they were like, well, wait, when he gets out, all of this didn't.
Nope. You can blame Mitch McConnell. You can blame Merrick Garland. The fact of the matter remains, in this country, so long as you're white and rich and you're a man, do what you want. Do what you want. So, anyways.
So, Jack Smith just did a speech where he was talking about that the rule of law was at threat right now. Seeing what happened with Comey, will Trump go after Jack Smith next? Will he go after Jack Smith? Because he's still under those indictments. They've just been temporarily shelved.
He'll die. He'll die before he ever faces justice.
Maybe.
He already targeted his law firm he came from. Took away all their security clearances and stuff.
Again, Jack Smith, magician. There's the opportunity to do so with the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the opportunity is not a guarantee. It's just an opportunity to do so. It ends in the Knight of Wands and the Moon. So it's possible if something progresses. So if whatever he was investigating comes back again while he's still alive or in office, then he can start to try to target. But right now he may be kind of out of sight, out of mind. But if something starts to progress and move forward, then he's going to put him on the enemies list too. I mean, he already is, but put him up higher than he used to be.
I get that his cabinet or those closest to him, his entourage, is looking for a path that would be successful.
Like the Comey thing, which we'll get to in a minute. It's like right now they'd like to end him, but they're blocked from it. So they're trying to find a way to shine a light and investigate him. Directives from the White House. And it's a whole network of Republicans that would like to expose Jack Smith to America. But anything they come up with is going to be manipulated, strength on thieving. It's all subterfuge. But yeah, they'll try to talk up something. So James Comey, his thing, he was about to go expire under the statute of limitations when they slammed through the indictments. They had a grand jury, which was like 23 people, I believe, and they got out of 23 or 24 counts that they presented to them, only 2 stuck, and they only needed 14 jurors to vote. So that's what happened, why they got 2 things that they said, yeah, okay, go ahead and indict him on that. Well,
I read that Comey's team is asking for it to get thrown out because of security purposes, which means he's got the receipts on Trump.
Yeah.
So
one of the things was a hearsay, something that they misinterpreted from what Ted Cruz had said years ago. When there was a leak to the, I think the New York Times or somewhere. Anyway, Comey said, no, I did not authorize that leak. But there's 2 people that could authorize, him or Andrew McCabe. And, it was Andrew McCabe that leaked it. Andrew was authorized to leak it. Comey did not authorize it because he didn't have to. Andrew could leak it.
And reminder to stupid ass Trump, every time you do this, guess what happens? It goes to discovery, which means you're going to have to sit before a judge and a jury and not plead the 5th, or plead the 5th and everything gets freaking thrown out, because you can't just say indict him and throw him in prison and that's it. As much as he would like for that to be the reality where he can just pick up his political opponents and ship them off to Venezuela or wherever the hell you're sending people to, that's not the reality of how our system works. So,
right. So little Lindsay, Trump fires the prosecutor in Virginia. He puts Lindsay Hallahan in there. Lindsay shows up for the first court hearing with no one else, just her as the prosecutor. Well, when the U.S. is prosecuting, they always go out like a whole team to show strength and that they're backing. So nobody apparently would go with Lindsay because it's such a lame case.
Well, didn't a bunch of people also resign in protest?
A lot of people resign in protest. She has no trial experience and showed up by herself. She's never prosecuted a case. She has no trial experience. She does not even have a license in the state of Virginia where she's a prosecutor. So she shows up alone. Is this case going to get thrown out by the judge? Because it is, or if it gets delayed, then statute of limitations runs out.
Can I say one thing? As horrible as this is, for a man that's going on a revenge tour, going after all of his political opponents, that's terrible. That should never happen in this country. At the same time, I can't say that I'm not low-key laughing at the karma that just landed on James Comey's doorstep, because James Comey helped get Trump elected the first time.
Yeah.
So
his comments about Hillary. I'm not a James Comey fan, but at the same time, well, and Trump had Comey's daughter fired.
Yeah.
So will this court case get thrown out. We know Bolton will probably be another target because they raided his house, but they haven't come up with anything yet.
They've claimed they have classified documents, that he was in possession of classified documents.
Oh, so it's okay for Trump to be in possession of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago in the ballroom and in the shitter, but nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Actively hiding it from the FBI and everybody else. Okay, got it. Do as I say, but not as I do. It doesn't go anywhere. Dead, kaput. That's what I get.
Yeah. You lose, sucker. There's something that's going to grow out of this, though, because Comey is not satisfied with that. So something else may come up in the courts in the future. He's got a plan. So whether it's payoffs, payoffs and bribery and stealing, he knows some other stuff, and I think it involves Russia. So yeah, let's go to deposition. Let's go to discovery. No, it's going to go nowhere. He's going to lose. What you getting, Johnny?
I'm going to say that I don't know if it gets thrown out immediately. There's something here with the Wheel of Fortune. They're going to keep at him, basically. But this goes nowhere. It ends in the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Like, the strength is on his side, and whatever it is they're trying to do, this is a vanity project in the first place. They know they have no case. The prosecutor before said he had no case. Now he just found someone to try to force something through because this is a revenge thing. Even people in Pam Bondi's office said that this was wrong. And so that's all this is for, is just to get back at him for whatever reason. But it goes nowhere in the end. But they're going to try to drag it just like they're going to try to do to Letitia James and Adam Schiff and Barack Obama and everybody else that he claims he doesn't like. Now, here's the problem, young man, though. You plant that seed in the ground. When it grows, you cannot handle the karma that it's going to bring back to you. When it happens, I don't know. Because if it was up to me, it would have happened 17 years ago, but whatever.
Like planting the seeds of the little shop of horrors.
Preach it, Johnny. Preach it. Because this whole entire thing of not starting a precedent. If there was one person that should have been an exception, it should have been that man. And now you just
he was an exception to a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Just
And
with his behavior, not even what you were going to do in response, just in his behavior. He was unpresidential because he didn't act like all the rest of you. Even the politicians get up, even the Republicans or whoever, they get up, they lie, they say, this is what I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do. And then if it's a Republican, then they're riddled with 4 years of scandal, and then they get out of office. This one campaigned on scandal and horrible things to say, and then got in and then spent 4 years and now another year doing the worst thing he possibly can. And everybody's just like, well, we don't want to set the precedent.
On top of inciting a violent insurrection
against his own country.
At least Nixon and Reagan and Bush didn't go that far.
And screams respect the law now with ICE, respect the law, and yet they bash the heads of our police at the Capitol.
I mean, don't talk to me about setting precedent, because the failure to hold that man accountable has brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
Bonnie Willis and Letitia James, Jack Smith and Bob Mueller, the only people who looked into his crimes and said, here's what I got, and then left it up to our lawmakers to do something about it, and then whatever.
Well, Letitia James did help, so
Yes,
that?
$500 million that he never paid, but at least she got it.
Yeah. Moses Mike won't sign in the new Arizona rep that's a Democrat who's been certified as the winner, but he did do the oath for a Republican who hadn't even been certified yet. They just need 217 votes to get these Epstein files released, and he won't swear in this new Democrat from Arizona. So how long is he going to hold off? Can we ask, like, how many weeks, days, months? Like, how can you not swear in somebody that was elected that's been certified?
They're barreling us towards a shutdown, so he won't have to swear her in.
It's just indefinite.
I get 1 month. I heard 1 month and I pulled this. So it's sometime in the fall. We got 2 full months left. And so 1 month, I'll say.
I'm so sorry that I didn't catch that the question was timing. I asked if she would be sworn in. I get a bunch of recorded violations and an abundance of impeachments. There's impeachment, letter, scythe, fish, and abundance. A lot of impeachment.
Like impeaching Moses Mike, or Moses Mike trying to impeach other people?
They wouldn't impeach Moses. They can just vote to vacate the chair like they did to McCarthy. But there's an abundance of impeachments or an abundance of recorded violations. So I'm sorry I didn't catch the question.
Okay, follow-up question for you, Becca. Is it targeting Dems? Yes or no? Is it targeting Republicans? Yes or no? Like, would he try to impeach Dems?
He can't. Moses Mike can't impeach anybody in the House. They would have to vote to expel, but he cannot impeach another House member.
So who would he be trying to impeach? Trump?
I'm not saying that Moses Mike is trying to impeach. I'm saying that there's an abundance of recorded violations or an abundance of impeachments. So that tells me, yes, they eventually get the person sworn in. And then after that, it's a flurry, or it's an abundance of paperwork that is very dangerous. Letter, paperwork, mail.
Oh, like the Epstein files.
The scythe, danger, fish, abundance. Okay, so it would be an abundance of people that are in danger from very rich people that finance them, that send them checks, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. So there's an abundance of that sort of thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying Moses Mike is going to impeach another House member. He does not have the power to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? So if it's in regards to the letter, in regards to the Epstein files that he's trying to cut off, it comes out in abundance. Do you see what I'm saying? And it brings an abundance of,
which means there'll be enough votes to get it.
It brings a lot of danger. So yes, she will be sworn in, but I didn't ask when. I'm sorry, because I didn't catch that part. So I would go with Johnny's.
I'm getting 3 to 4 weeks, so a month or 3 weeks before she gets to move in. He's going to bully her till then, and then the vote, like they have enough votes to get that.
You know who else was tied up in the finances of Jeffrey Epstein? Murkowski.
Yeah, because she had dealings with Ghislaine, and one of her mutual friends that's good friends with Ghislaine is one of her significant donors or something.
That rot.
It's not her husband, it's her, Lisa Murkowski. And she voted to not release the documents.
Lisa Murkowski. So I'm telling you, the rot is so bad, I can smell it over here. That's how bad it is. So, I mean, can you imagine if those files came out? I bet you there's maybe 5 or maybe 10 people that are elected officials that are not somehow implicated.
That are clean.
Yeah.
Let's ask, how will Lisa Murkowski fare when the Epstein files come out? There's a lot of stuff tied to Alaska, trying to expand the Arctic Circle, which would help Alaska and all this stuff. So this woman that was working with Ghislaine was working with other people that also wanted to expand the Arctic Circle and all that. It's crazy.
That rot is so deep. It's so deep.
An explanation tour, something of that nature. The Page of Swords is how it starts. That's rumors and lies and that type of thing. And so she would come out and start to talk about those type of things. The problem is the 3 Kings here. She's got a bunch of business deals that are going to be very, very, very difficult to explain and to explain away. That type of thing. And there's the 3 of Swords. She's lying through her teeth, but I mean, you didn't need cards for that. But she's lying and she's betraying, and she cannot explain the favors either. There's something here around favors. I don't know who to, but it's probably one of these 3 men that pop up, because there's the 8 of Swords. So she's obligated to this person. The Knight of Pentacles, that's something they asked her to do. This is not a all the time thing. So if they needed some sort of regulation, or they needed some sort of bill passed, or they needed something introduced to the houses of Congress, blah, 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 blah. So she was doing favors for people there. She may be one of these type of people where she won't seek re-election and whatever, but she's going to go on a explanation tour, and it's full of lies because a lot of business deals are coming out. Yeah.
I agree, and it may cause her to abandon her position before her term is up. But she's going to go around and try to share information, but nobody's accepting it. Nobody. It's like, yeah, no. So she is highly burdened by Ghislaine in the little party files. She's going to be put in defense mode along with people in the cabinet. This is going to grow globally, so there's other things that are going to become a problem, and she is constricted and trapped. I think she'll walk away from her seat. What you getting, Becca?
Moon Key Man House Moon. I think the PR spin is going to be, I'm going to spend more time with my family, my husband and my family. Woman, important man of the home and family. And that's what's going to get the spin, the media, the PR. I'm going to spend more time with my family. Oh, they were saying, Johnny, in the chat, that they have until November something to swear that lady in.
Oh.
That would make sense if it's 4 weeks.
Yeah, and Johnny, I think, said in the fall. So yeah.
Yeah, he said 1 month. So the government shut down because they won't put any funding for healthcare in there. Meanwhile, or anything to stop Trump from misappropriating funds that they agree to. First, are we going into a full shutdown?
I'm going to sit this one out. So
Is that in 2 days?
On Tuesday, the 3rd, they have till the 3rd. And we already got the emails at work.
The 3rd would be Friday.
Oh yeah, 3rd would be Friday. Which I'm good because we've been paid already for the next 5 years, but And just every time there's a Republican in office, they always dick around with this stuff. And government employees are not there getting wealthy like members of Congress, lower and upper chamber. Most are living paycheck to paycheck. And you're going to screw with their freaking income?
Well, they've already said that they will find a way to still fund Department of Defense because they want their ICE agents for immigration.
No, but the thing is, that should be a law. You shut the government down, you don't get paid either.
That's right.
End of story. You don't get to play with people's lives like that. That's just not, it's
Because
wrong.
bear in mind, shutting the government down doesn't mean those people don't have to go back to work.
They still do. That's why they're furloughed. You're working for free. So now you're filling up your gas to get to work because Elon Musk decided as a private citizen, everybody has to come back to work. No more remote working. So everybody's going back to work on base. That's commuting. That's putting gas in your tank and wear and tear in your car. So why the hell should they not get paid while members of Congress are getting 6 figures a year, not counting everything they're making from insider trading? No. F that. F that.
They're definitely going into a shutdown. What are you getting, Johnny?
Yeah, work warning is the work card. 8 of Pentacles details. There's no agreement here. Emperor, 4 swords, 3 of swords. Holding on to what you have, not willing to compromise, being stingy over money and resources, that type of thing. And looks like it. Anything can change, but it looks like it.
My card for America on the bottom. This is just getting blown up and burdening America. The White House actually will probably celebrate this. It's almost like they would like, because then they can sneak around and have nobody to hold them accountable. Not that anybody is anyway, but yeah, this is like devastating. It might end some things in the courts also. The courts usually are the last thing, from what I understand, to shut down because they got some budget there to run on for a little while, but it may eventually hit the courts. I think this is going to be a pretty long shutdown.
Is it going to break his first record? Because remember, he holds the record for the longest shutdown. It was 35 days the last time he shut down the government. And he went all over the news and said, "Oh, I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame, blah, 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 blah." And as soon as he got bad press, it's all the Gens. It's all the Gens.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he's always said that it's the president's fault if there's a shutdown. So will he break his record of 35 days?
We need a process that is easier to get rid of politicians than just voting. If we go to work and don't do our jobs, they don't hang around for 2 years to see if they can get us out. These people have to basically give us a functioning government, and they're not doing that, left or right. And we need a process to say, okay, fine. You got 10 days to turn this around. We're writing you up. You got 10 days to turn this around, or we need to replace you, like they would do anybody else in the world.
And Johnny, to your point, the Republicans are actively burning the house down, and the Democrats are remodeling the bathroom. Like, it's mad, with a handful of maybe 5, 6 that I could count that are actively.
But at the same time, Trump won't take a meeting with the Dems, and he keeps, bad,
no,
and Moses Mike won't meet with them.
No, I want you to show the same level of political maneuvering that Mitch McConnell does when he's in the minority. Grab him by the balls and F and squeeze. Enough of this, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. We sent a strongly worded letter." Mitch McConnell has done more in the minority than he has every day of the week with the Democrats in power. Moses Mike is not liked. It's not hard to garner support to oust him, especially with the Republicans knowing that if we have a free and fair midterm, they're going to get wiped out. So is it worth losing your career in the biggest cash cow ever for a guy that's dragging you down with him?
It's going to come close to breaking his record. Maybe by 4 days. So if it was 35 days last time, there's an uncertainty about it because there's so many people dissatisfied with how they work together. So I'm getting like this could be a pretty strong one and a pretty big delay. This is a 1 month card for me, so it's going to be pretty close to 35 days. What are you getting, Johnny?
I don't know. Hopefully it's not what I think, but this is 5 to 7 weeks type of thing, which is a very, very long time to not get paid and still have to go to work.
He doesn't care. He'll be golfing. He'll be golfing.
Which
And
is a
bombing boats, Venezuelan boats, and
bombing boats, golfing, and worried about his new taxpayer-funded ballroom.
I'm not a mental health specialist, and I want to know that thing in here somewhere that there are people right now that either work for the government or being hurt by the government that would vote for him again.
John,
I don't get it. They don't, and the other ones, the ones in the House and the Senate, you would vote for that same person again. They don't give you a function in government. What they do proactively hurts you, and you vote for them again.
I've seen some TikToks of the farmers that are going to prayer groups right now because they're about to lose their farms, asking God to change Trump's heart so that he would help them. So you're already acknowledging that he doesn't give a shit about you. But then you turn around in the same breath and say, yeah, I'd vote for him again.
They're hurting because of tariffs. They can't export. They're hurting because of tariffs. They're already saying in the Trump administration, we're probably going to have to give them subsidies, which is true. And then they turn around and give $20 billion to Argentina.
We discussed this last
America
week,
first.
that God did answer your prayer. He showed you who Trump was, and you were supposed to see it. So this whole thing of join us in thoughts and prayers, no, the prayer has already been answered. You didn't take the solution. God answered your prayer. He answers all prayers. Sometimes the answer is no, as I say. But he answered your prayer. He showed you who Trump was, and you were supposed to turn the other way because that was the person who was going to hurt your financial interest. You are not a rich, white, connected man. Therefore, he was not your candidate. And so you voted for him anyway. Okay, well then what do you want God to do now?
And especially given Trump, who has a well-documented history of stiffing his workers. He would spend the money to take them to court, which is more than what he had to pay just so he can spite people beneath him.
Gave him pennies on the dollars in settlements. Pennies on the dollar of what he owed them.
Yeah. So to spite those people because he deemed them lesser than him, he went through all that trouble of taking them to court so he just didn't have to pay. And you think he gives a crap about you? Come on now.
Will the Dems win and get some health care put back into the funding? Because that's what they're trying to boost up Obamacare. Will they win in the shutdown? Will the Dems be able to get some support for Obamacare subsidies back in? Will they get anything for healthcare back in the budget?
Yes, but it's a fraction of what it should be. But because here is the positive card in the influence, and that's what they're going for is healthcare, that type of thing, the well-being. The problem comes in the Eight of Pentacles, that's detail. And so the Four of Pentacles, it's diminished. And so whatever it is that they were going for initially gets reduced. So not all of it. Ten of Swords, there is a lot of concession, but this seems to be one of those, we need the government back open, so we have to compromise. If it shuts down, there's still time.
I get they fix it later. What are you getting, Becca?
There's a change made by a man, and then there's money. I don't know who that man is. It could be the worthless Jeffries. It could be the worthless Moses Mike. I don't know. But that there's a man that makes a change, and then there's funding.
Because it's like 50-50 right now, and they've got to change perspectives on it because everybody's complaining about healthcare, right? Support is blocked for a while. I'm getting it's very slow moving to get enough people back in. There is money eventually, I'm getting, but it may take a while because everything that the Republicans offer is a problem. Everything they offer is a problem. So it takes a while. This may be something that gets fixed later, How's Trump's October going?
To hell.
Hopefully back to the mud.
He's invited himself to the big brass meeting with Pete Heads.
There you go, Johnny.
He's drinking again.
Wait, make Johnny bigger because he's cursing him right now. Stab the shit out
I
of
don't
him.
need to be there.
Right? No, not on his head.
He's got a noodle crown.
Stab
He's the
him.
noodle king.
Stab him in the ankle with his cankles.
It's full of Tylenol.
I was surprised he was able to walk up the escalator when it shut down.
He had no choice. I guarantee you he didn't decide to do that by himself.
I would sell my soul to the great Satan himself if he would have made that bastard trip going up and take Melania down with him. Grab her pants or her skirt or whatever she was wearing and rip him down as he's falling. I would have given my soul to see that.
I was surprised he didn't just stop and go around to the escalator that's still working. He's so stupid because he's at the bottom. Why not just walk over here to the one that's working? It's crazy.
He's stupid.
Everything out of his mouth and his speech was so stupid. And oh my God.
I don't understand why the UN just didn't cut his freaking mic. What an embarrassment.
He was so insulting to other countries. So insulting.
How embarrassing. How effing embarrassing. And I'm tired of people cowering from this man. Punch him in the face one time. That's all it takes. Punch him in the freaking mouth one time.
All you have to do is embarrass him. He runs.
He is going to be celebrating some sort of change or unavoidable change for possibly Tylenol, because this is medicine, healthcare, that type of thing. Because here is the celebration. Because this is part of a concerted effort for something. Because there's the Three of Cups, which is celebration. But celebration for an effort of some kind, not just like a party. And then the Ten of Cups is his group of people, and the Ten of Pentacles is the group of business people. And then here's the change with the Death card, very big change, mind you. And then there is the Temperance. So this could have a financial effect upon those people as well. One thing that I'm pretty sure that he would love to avoid, but which is coming right back again, is the Epstein thing with the Queen of Cups and the Devil and the High Priestess. because some more information will be uncovered. There's another person, another character to add to that story too. I don't know who the King of Cups is, but we're going to be introduced to a new name with the Epstein files, possibly a connection between him and Epstein and somebody else. And then there is the accusation of taking money from an agency of some sort and misappropriation of that money.
Yep. What you getting, Becca?
I did a box spread. Issues around children that were in a network and a woman. There's an enemy real close to him that's younger. And then him trying to make an improvement or trying to change something. And then a lot of abuse and criticisms, but his health is also, it's also right there. I'm wondering if he's also going to try to go after women's reproductive rights, because it's woman, storks, and tree, a woman, pregnancy, health. So there may be something that he's looking at around women's reproductive health.
He's looking at outlawing contraceptives.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That should be fun, because it's woman, storks, tree, woman, pregnancy, health. So, and then it's whip, moon, tree. So something sexual around the womb and health. But
it may also be the Tylenol thing, because he keeps saying pregnant women don't take Tylenol. It causes
there's something
autism.
Around a woman, pregnancy, and their health. So that's the last column. That looks like he's going to keep drilling that, which I hope who's ever the lawyers for whoever makes acetaminophen has a whole panel of lawyers taking notes, because the clown car that is that entire administration, they're going to get sued to shit. I would hope that that's what happens. I don't get the tower in the spread though. There's also something around children that he's blocking that has to do with sexual abuse. In October, he feels like that's behind him, but it's still present. To him, he thinks it's behind, because it's the first column down, and then him, and then the woman health issues. So he thinks he's outdone that, but it's still a presence. Abusing children, young women, health and abuse, sex, addictions. Okay, parties that he was involved in. It's what is this? The garden, the man, and the moon. It could be photographs of him at parties that come out. It's like more stuff comes out around children that were female, and children in a network with a woman, female children in this network. So more photographs coming out, more media coverage. Even though he's trying to tamper it down, it still comes out. There may be accusations of perhaps some of the girls being pregnant or getting pregnant, because it's child and stork.
Having been pregnant.
There's also new issues with an enemy, a smaller enemy that fights or attacks. I don't know what that is. So I don't know what that is. But yeah, the Epstein stuff is still going on. Something around pregnancy and women, possibly photos of him at parties coming out, and aggression from a small enemy or a new enemy. But he's still having serious health issues. There might be something new that comes up, and there may be more swelling as well. It's storks and tree. If it was tree and storks, it would be his health improves, but it's storks first, then tree. The storks always adds to, it makes something bigger, so more swelling. In the legs, the storks is the legs. Swelling in the legs that might involve his health. There was also something in the head. So he may be having chronic headache.
Is there a brain in the head?
Well, the mountain is the head. The whip is something that hurts. So possibly migraines or headaches that only get more and more. So yeah, it's the same. I don't see any changes. If anything, it's going to be more of what we're already experiencing.
I get exposure of him at parties with young people, so that could be photographs or something. If he doesn't end up in the hospital, I'm getting two things off this: the government shutdown, which he hopes will squelch the Epstein talk, but I think he's going to end up in the hospital, trying to recover, because somebody is sharing information about these children that is his big secret. Thank you, Phoenix. And he is not happy about it. So something is coming in. I don't know if it's the women sharing something or their lawyers, or if some of the files get leaked or what. But he's got exposure, and he's also giving money to somebody overseas, like he did to Argentina. There's overseas gifts. Like I said, the exposure of parties with young people. There's a woman in the White House, so somebody in his cabinet that gets very, very burdened by all of the Republicans. So not sure what's going on there, if that's a Kristi Noem or somebody like that. There's somebody in his cabinet in the White House that is going to get hammered. Speaking of hammered, Pete Hegseth drinking at a ball game the other day, drinking beer. So he's off the wagon, getting ready for all the brass coming in. And Trump has invited himself to that gathering.
You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that anybody in the DOJ respects that son of a bitch.
No.
You can't convince me that any career law enforcement agent at the FBI has an ounce of respect for Crooked Eye Capital, who was a podcaster with no law experience, mind you.
Had a little desk job in the military at one time, calling all the brass in. So is he, I have several thoughts. Like, is he setting us up to be in danger? Like somebody could attack, our military somewhere in the world? Or is he looking for loyalty oaths so that they can see if these people are going to be willing to attack our own U.S. citizens? What does he want from the military brass meeting? Is he trying to make us vulnerable, or is he trying to get loyalty?
I thought that already came out, and Trump announced that we were going to go to war with Venezuela, and that he's providing aid somewhere. It wasn't Israel, it was somewhere else. I thought that's what came out of that whole thing.
I don't think he's met with the brass yet. And Trump's invited himself to it. I think it's Tuesday. So what's the purpose? Meeting with all the military brass? Because we'll never hear the truth from them. Or is it a multi-purpose thing?
You know what it is. He's going to invite them so that he can show them his new makeup desk and do a get ready with me for TikTok. That's while he's getting drunk.
That guy, I can't believe, like, he was dancing all stupidly and drinking beer. It's like, yeah, you said you quit drinking, liar.
It's a really long time, but 7 years, the fall of the patriarchy. It's a long time. But I get this is a Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Steve Bannon, all these people big up themselves, as they say in Jamaica. You put yourself on this pedestal. And in your mind and sometimes parts of reality, you get to be the most powerful person that you know. They want to be like kings of the world type thing. The purpose of all of this is power and grabbing at it and trying to take it from other people, whether it's war or agreements or whatever the case may be. But I don't get an answer to the question. I basically get that beware of your ambition because it can lead to your downfall. And these in particular people get the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is wishes and desires, but be careful what you wish for. You want the Midas touch, but you can't eat anything. You can't touch anyone, so forth and so forth. And so they are setting themselves up for a very, very big fall. And that's what I get. I didn't get an answer to the question. The patriarchy is about to fall, but it's going to take a few years.
Thank you, Rose. I get, it's like, isn't our leader fun and joyful and celebrated? So there is a loyalty test here. And I get they want to block people that aren't Republicans. So if there are leaders in the brass that aren't sworn to Republicans, it's kind of like they'd like to get them out. I also get that there's a lot.
They already did that back in February. They purged everybody back in February.
Quite a few of them. They may be looking at purging women, moving them out, getting them out of the military. They've already been trying to get out. Thank you, Judy. Transgender and anybody they can. They may be going after women in the military next. They see them as a problem.
I've seen that somewhere. Let me see.
That's unconstitutional.
I've seen that somewhere.
Everything they do is unconstitutional.
That's the thing. Yeah. But they can't technically, mind you, but they can't technically do a lot of things. But I just seen an article somewhere about not wanting to enlist women anymore into the military.
Thank you, Catherine.
What? Hold on, I didn't go.
Oh, sorry.
Tower scythe letter childbirds. Has there been a whistleblower
In the military?
Yeah, because I haven't been watching the news. Because it's a new meeting, a new person that sings. The results of a new whistleblower or something like that.
Oh, well, I don't think there's been one yet, but maybe after the meeting.
Because there's something here about it's going to be either an official voicemail or voice transcripts of what happened in that meeting. But there's something here about it could be about the government shutdown that's looming, because it's tower scythe, meaning the government or the institution itself is cut, and the results of a new meeting. And it could also be about weapons because of the scythe there. But I'm not worried about a loyalty test or them doing this as a setup for us to be targeted, because these people lack the sophistication and intelligence, quite frankly, to conjure up something like that. I mean, we're talking about the drunk who had a top secret meeting on Signal and invited a reporter. So
it's Pete Hegseth, U.S. Defense Secretary, in an advisory committee on women in the armed services. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. There was an advisory committee that was tasked with trying to get women into the military. And he calls it a divisive feminist agenda. And mind you, this thing has been there since 1951. And so he has ended that, or is pushing to end that. No, he did end that. He ended an advisory committee on women in the armed services.
So that's what I
So let's talk about Tylenol for a minute, because it came out that Dr. Oz owns stock in a company that's a competition to Tylenol. And we were talking before going live about how Dr. Oz hadn't been seen for months, and all of a sudden he's there when they're talking about Tylenol. Why are they going after Tylenol? Because autism was discovered in like 1911, I think it was. Tylenol wasn't invented till 1951. So no, it does not cause autism. That's bullshit. So why are they going after Tylenol? Is it money?
Kind of.
By paying them to go after them?
See, if benefit of the doubt would say that what they mean to say is acetaminophen and not Tylenol, except that's the name brand, and so that's what they're bringing up. Like if it was ibuprofen, you'd say Advil or something like that. But no, first card I get is Two of Pentacles. This is a deal of some sort. This is a business deal. This is not about health. The Two of Pentacles has a health aspect to it, but the Caduceus is not a health symbol. It's a symbol of commerce, and so this is a business thing. And then there's the devil, and so the devil's the devil. There's corruption behind this. The Ten of Cups, the big group, and the Chariot was the working together to try to accomplish one in particular goal, and the Eight of Wands is the unified message, basically. And so this is about business of some sort and corruption. Mind you, the Caduceus is also the symbol of outlaws and thieves, and so there is that too.
You pulled Becca? Yeah.
to change the conversation around a woman, and because of meetings with an ambitious man. So to change the conversation around a woman, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, and because of a meeting with an ambitious man. That person may have had a talk show or something at one point, talked a lot, but to change the conversation around a woman, and because of a meeting with an ambitious man. That's
yeah. It's trying to shift money. So yeah, be Dr. Oz and Miss O, is that who you're referring to? They're trying to shift money. So trying to make stronger something that's not doing well. They're trying to get people to move over to other things, and it's all about money. Trying to make it stronger. So money deals that aren't really going well. They're just, Trump's trying to shift, trying to change it, trying to bully people, confuse them. And again, quid pro quo, like I'll do this for you, but you got to do this for me. So what did he promise in doing that? So will Tylenol sue the crap out of them? For the parent company of Tylenol?
This feels very, what's that company that Sue, Fox News. This feels very Smartmatic-y.
Dominion, I think it was.
Dominion. There it goes. Three of Cups in the Moon. So this is done. It's treacherous. This in particular group of people coming in. So they don't have the best of intentions. This is not like they're looking out for women's health type of thing, obviously. But here's Judgment, and then the Nine of Pentacles. That's a very, very large sum of money, and then there's the Judgment. I don't know if they ever get it, but there's the Judgment in a very large sum of money. So I think, yes, they will, because their stock and Seven of Pentacles is going to be affected, and net worth and blah, 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 blah.
And here's the thing. These jackasses that are in there right now doing what they're doing it because nobody ever held him accountable this first time. But what they failed to realize is you can be as corrupt as you want and nobody will lift a finger to do anything. But don't go after Big Pharma. That's one of the biggest sins in Washington. You do not go after Big Pharma. I get, yes, the sun, the stars, the cross, yes, because their fame and their energy and their success has suffered because of what they've said. So
yeah, I don't know if you remember back, I think it was in the 80s or early 90s, Tylenol had a problem where somebody in the factory laced some pills with a dangerous chemical, and there were some deaths because of it. And it caused them to change a lot of things about production stuff so people couldn't access it, right? And it took Tylenol a while to build back their following, even those who liked it, because there was a scare thing with, oh my God, I'm going to get pills laced with cyanide or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah, they are definitely, because they're affecting their money. They're already talking and getting together over this, making their plans. The plan is off the ground here shortly. They're looking at their options of everything they want to go after. So yeah, strength and exposure, put them in defense mode. It is a little bit of a fight, but they are going to take it to court because they have been betrayed in America. So they're getting hit in the pocketbook, and they'll win.
Yep.
They'll win. So there's,
good
you know,
on
the
you.
scientists have already been commenting that this is bullshit.
I am tired of waking up every day wondering what dictator I'm going to agree with today and what Big Pharma I'm going to be agreeing today with. Like, can we please stop the ride? Please? Please? Because I never thought I'd be rooting for Big Pharma, you know?
Will the Supreme Court allow Trump to end birthright citizenship?
Successful, important agreement. That's what I get. Or energy in a very significant agreement, a promise. Resolution continuation. So it reads like what already agreed upon stands, but with this Supreme Court, girl, I don't know. It's saying that what's been on stays, but with these people and the way that they've been virtue signaling, hey, send it our way, we'll undo it. I don't know.
You know how, like, when they've had dissents or whatever, but they'll write in it like little hints, like, "Hey, Eileen Cannon, approach it this way," yeah, that kind of thing. That's what I'm getting.
That's
Like,
what I said. It's like they've already been virtue signaling, like, "Hey, do it this way, and we'll make it go through." Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah, because it's like mulling it over, but kind of sleeping on it. Exposure to a way to break it down, to break down birthright citizenship. So there's something they're not liking about how it's written, but they may delay it to get them to work on it again and represent it. There's something in the wording, and there's something that they, as the judges, are going to word it in a way to show how to manipulate it, how to structure it. It's secret signaling, so to speak. What you getting, Johnny?
Let's pull one card up and say yes.
They're saying that it's in the 14th Amendment, but we've seen this. We've seen the Supreme Court. They have pulled stuff out of thin air.
Going back to the 1800s on stuff.
They have pulled stuff out of thin air and bent themselves into freaking pretzels. You know, it's funny to me that in almost 250 years, with Nixon and all his crimes, with Reagan and all his crimes, with Bush and all his crimes, never did we ever need to have a president with presidential immunity until this fucker came along. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yep, official acts only. And we get to decide what official acts are. We get to decide what official acts are. Not the Congress, not anybody else, us. Do you see what I'm saying? Abortion access. Oh, it's up to the states. Bending themselves into pretzels. You know,
he's talked about going after Obama too. Will he go after Obama? Will he try to indict Obama for something? Because that's his nemesis.
If he does,
Obama made it up the UN escalator just fine.
and Obama has received a Nobel Peace Prize that he's been demanding for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And when he does, I hope Merrick Garland is sitting in front of the television going, "I helped cause that."
I mean, it's funny, like, he can't really indict him if presidents have immunity, you know, so it's really funny. It's like, okay, well, if you can indict me, then we can indict you. Your immunity's gone. But will he try to indict Obama? Right, Bella?
Yes, because he thinks it'll give him an abundance of votes. Anything but bringing down grocery prices that he promised he would bring down within the first week. Anything but releasing the Epstein files. Anything but making your cost of living cheaper. No, not only do you get to pay more for groceries, pretty soon you're going to get to pay more for life-saving medication that is not made here in the U.S. at 100% tariffs, my friends. So anything but what he promised he would do.
Bunch of talk. 8 of Wands, Page of Wands from the loudmouth. Mind you, he's got an attack dog, but something tells me this is the wrong person to go after. But you do you. But I'm going to say it's just talk. A lot of it.
Well, it may also stem from if he's trying to get a third term, because if he goes for a third term, then Obama can too, right? He just wants to bedevil him. I get he would like to move forward and burden him. He would like to put him in defense mode and on a world stage here. Big yes. He would like to trap him in something that he did when he was in the White House. He thinks that it'll, to Becca's point, like get him both, like that he'll look strong to America. It's not going to work. He can't come up with anything. And you know what? You're probably past the statute of limitations by now anyway.
And like you guys were saying, presidents have absolute immunity. So.
Thank you, Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Obama's been honest on his IRS tax form, so good luck, trying to find something.
I mean, he'll try to say no. Presidential immunity is not retroactive to anybody past my presidency. Is what he'll try to do. It only applied to me and moving forward, nobody else.
You know what I don't understand is why he's targeting Portland. He's been targeting LA and Chicago, the big dim cities.
Well, isn't there an ICE protest in Portland, Johnny? That's probably why, because of the ICE protest. Because it's been going on for a while now, hasn't it? For
a while, but they're small. It's a smaller city. There are ICE protests going on in Boston and New York and everywhere else. Why Portland? What is it about Portland?
They had protests when he was president the first time. Isn't that what he's all upset about?
Well, is it like Obama? It's stuck in his head. Why Portland? Right.
Because he wants to look like he's successful. Because he's a freaking failure everywhere else.
Yeah, he can't take on the big city, so he's got to go after a smaller one.
Important man, success and energy. Come on, somebody just punch him in the mouth, please.
It's vindictive and deep-rooted emotional with the moon and the Queen of Swords.
Because he's a loser. He lost it to the Dems. Something about their lifestyle that he would like to end too. So, yeah.
You have a gay governor. Because he's not doing this to Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
He's not doing it to North Carolina where there was just a mass shooting. He's not doing it in Michigan where there was just a mass shooting in a church. He's not doing it in Utah where his little buddy got,
Seattle, if Seattle's a bigger city, it's like, why not go after Seattle? They're kind of liberal.
You're not doing it in North Korea either.
That's why I'm hoping that all these blue states that are in meetings right now go forward with their soft secession and kneecap them. Because if we don't give you money, good luck with your little operations. Because the red states like Louisiana and Kentucky ain't going to be able to fund your ass to do what you're doing right now.
Will the Supreme Court take the Ghislaine Maxwell case and overturn her conviction?
No. King of Swords, Two of Swords.
They're not going anywhere near that with a 10-foot pole. Important, significant, block, cold shoulder, pain and suffering. And I will say it's probably because there's people in that Supreme Court that are in the files.
They're on the list.
And we did see John Roberts on there. It could be any John Roberts because that's not a common white boy name. But John Roberts, somebody by the name of John Roberts is on that.
But it has to be a John Roberts that a Epstein would know. Because he didn't know the John Roberts listed at the 7-Eleven. It has to be somebody that's connected, got a little money or something.
Uh-huh.
No, no, no. There's something they want to keep very close to their chest.
I am surprised. I truly am that I'm not sure if people are still scouring that list, because there was a bunch of stuff from the Epstein estate. Because I was willing to bet my left boob that Alito and Thomas would be on there. After you and I talked, Jenny, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I could totally see that. All those people that went to Bohemian Grove and stuff, I could see that.
Or people that they're closely associated to, either from the Heritage Foundation or somewhere else that's linked.
People that got them on the Supreme Court. Absolutely.
Yep. And people were like freaking out that, well, not freaking out, but like, oh, look at that. Elon Musk is on the list. Why is anybody surprised? We're talking about the guy that he didn't assault her, but he came on to her, the flight attendant, remember? On SpaceX, and offered to buy her a pony to grope her, and then he settled $250,000.
Okay.
Anybody surprised? Come on.
Well, speaking of groping, Matt Schlapp, who, if you remember back when, what's his name was running in Georgia, Herschel Walker was running, Matt Schlapp grabbed one of the campaign guys in his limo and now got sued. Well, he's been going to bars and brushing up against men and grabbing their privates and in public bars.
Wait, wasn't he married too?
Oh yeah,
wife and kids and everything.
Yeah, he's head of CPAC.
I had heard too, Jenny, that they crashed Grindr at the latest. I think it was at the Charlie Kirk thing. They crashed Grindr there too.
Wouldn't surprise me. Matt Schlapp doing brush buys, they're calling it, where he brushes up against men and grabs them and laughs, and he's about got punched out several times, but he got some legal issues coming up. He'd be the one man I'd feel safe around. Gay people don't want you brushing up against them either, Matt. I don't know if it's gay bars or straight bars, but it sounded like it was straight bars. But nobody wants to be sexually assaulted.
I don't understand how these closeted bastards can be openly hostile to the very same people that they're trying to get with in the shadows when they think nobody's looking.
It's sexual deviance, It's like, if you're gay, be openly gay. If you're straight, be openly straight, whatever. This deviant behavior with pedophiles and brushing up against people and grabbing them without permission and stuff, it's disgusting, the deviant behavior. That's what it comes down to. It's not about...
a song called I Ain't Gay. And it's, the first line is, I ain't gay, I just do gay stuff. Like effing dudes in the back of my truck.
Mike Berry is saying that his wife, when he caught, when she found out, had an exorcism done at his office.
Because it's the devil. Is that what it is?
The devil tempted him to suck dick, and sorry, I'm sorry, but I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Will
he have any legal cases? I don't get legal cases. I mean, that's not to say it's not coming, but I just don't have it here. What I do get, though, is there is something else to a car or automobile, which is what made me think of that song. There is the chariot again, and then the Four of Pentacles. There's like an agreement to keep something quiet or keep something silent or something like that. But there's the Ace of Wands and the Lover's card. So there was some sort of rendezvous in the back of old Chevy or something like that. And the Seven of Cups and the Page of Swords, trying to keep this hush hush and maybe throw out some gaslighting or mixed signals or things like that. Like, this person is just lying on me because they're trying to ruin my reputation or whatever the case may be. But it's coming out because somebody's going to do some talking. And they were paid too, mind you.
Yep.
And they've been paid
Yep.
before. I wonder if there's a Venmo trail, because the Seven of Pentacles sometimes leave evidence. So
Paying young men.
it's all coming out.
What you getting, Becca?
My dog Fox, he's nervous, or will soon be nervous, that someone that he trusted, he's suspicious of. So he's probably going through the Rolodex in his mind going, oh my God, do they have evidence? Do they know what I did? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's somebody that he doesn't trust him. If this is trust, this is suspicious. It could also be someone that he works with or that worked with him, a friend from work. Do you see what I'm saying? So he's crapping his pants, or will soon be crapping his pants, because he left some breadcrumbs. I'll put it that way.
Hopefully it's just breadcrumbs.
Dirty condoms.
Yeah. Yes, he's about to face some legal issues. It's like it'll take a minute. You know, it's going back and forth a little bit, but he's got a sexual addiction that's going to come up in court. Now, I think the first thing that'll happen is there's a new restraining order against him by a couple of different men. So there may be a couple of men that he's been targeting repeatedly that are going to talk. So I'm getting restraining order, and then I'm getting a betrayal by somebody he paid for, a young man that he paid for, because that's his lifestyle.
Somebody that was working.
I don't see any women.
Somebody that was working.
He didn't either.
He's not brushing up against women in the bars.
I don't. All these closeted old white men. How are you even putting up the facade with your wife? Like, how are you, if you're so into men, how are you even having kids? If you're picking up.
She's got to know her husband's got a thing.
No, but what I'm saying, when that whole thing happened, it seemed like she was surprised, but he's not the only one. There's a bunch of closeted gays in the entirety of the Republican Party. So how are you going home and playing dad and having kids with your wife without the help of Viagra?
Mrs. Mike.
Exactly. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, how do you do it? I mean, you must be a miserable son of a bitch to know that you don't want this, you want that over there. I'm pointing at Johnny, and you can't have it.
And to not have, pardon the expression, the balls to run as a gay Republican. Hello, Pete Buttigieg got elected several times.
Yeah.
There's no reason to hide it anymore in this day and age, except that they want to kill.
The thing is, though, too, remember I always told y'all about the hunting camp, where you go and you have a wife and kids and a church home and all this stuff, your American dream in public. And then I'm going to go hang out with Fred and Dave and Jim and Bob. And it's none the wiser, because all the women in the neighborhood, those are their husbands. They're going to go and have fun. And I don't want to go and hang around a bunch of boys all weekend. And so they go out and KY jelly it up. And so
it's a little bit of the thrill of the hunt, right? The thrill of sneaking around and doing something.
The fishing trips, the hunting trips, the boat trips. Yeah.
The hunting camp.
But in between trips, you got to have some urges. What are you doing? You know, like, I mean, I just, you know what? Forget about it. it's just I'm going to give myself a headache trying to figure out the logistics because it just seems like so much more work to do it in the shadows and sneaking around.
Lying always is more work.
Yeah, than just being open, you know?
Speaking of probably in the closet, the couch fucker. How's his October gonna go?
The couch fucker, huh?
Hey JD, how's your October gonna go? See, I tried a Johnny segue there. Johnny's so good at segues.
He's going to be burdened by Donald Trump. So he's going to have to explain a bunch of stuff and make sure he stays on message. He may actually have some words behind closed doors with Donald Trump, some sort of argument or something like that, because his ambition is starting to show. Maybe a little too early because the plan is not in motion yet for him to peak just yet. So they may have some words and there may be some accusations of disloyalty because whatever it is, he's worried that somebody will find out, and the fool is here. So I think he's worried that Trump will find out about him and his ambition. He's defending against some sort of bill or something that is being talked about or pushed through or something like he's going to do a whole lot of mouthpiecing for October. And he's taking a trip somewhere else too with the Knight of Wands.
Somewhere he'll get booed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing he ever does is go on vacation.
With his family, it's booed.
Why can't we get jobs like that? We just go on vacation every month. It's not
we should just go run for Congress, Johnny. We can get filthy rich on insider trading because nobody seems to give a damn. Nothing ever happens. You know, we can walk in there poor as a piper and come out freaking multimillionaires, and then go on vacation all the time. And to help with the constituents, because when's the last time Susan Collins was in her district before she went last time and got booed? How many years? 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So we're in the wrong business, Johnny. We are in the wrong business.
You run for office, I'll open a church.
Oh, and then we can make a business agreement. I scam the government, you scam the idiots in the church. And then Jenny needs a job too. We can be multi-billionaires, you guys.
Is he planning a trip abroad?
I get the same thing.
Getting away somewhere abroad, wife and kids in tow, has problems on the trip. There's something they're pushing for in the government that makes him very emotional and makes him very nervous. So to me, that would be the secret that wants to come out. That would be the Epstein files. So maybe votes getting ready to happen in the House or something to release that.
So on top of, I did a box spread. Ship Heart Crossroads. He's got several trips on his mind. However, those trips get canceled. A couple of them get canceled because the ship nights down to the scythe and it nights down to the coffin. There's a couple of trips that get canceled. There is an agreement from abroad that he's waiting on the results of. So a foreign agreement that he's awaiting results on, or that the results will be coming in. He's desiring something, but he doesn't get it. And it shows a loss or an illness. Heart, man, coffin. For Vance. Heart, desire, something that he's desiring, and then coffin. a loss, an ending. Okay. There's also a decision that needs to be made that requires a level of experience and maturity that he does not have. Crossroads, Scythe, and Lilies. There's also something here, could be about taking a choice away. A choice, alternatives, and options get cut off. And that's something that is long term. There are 1, 2, 3 men around him and a woman. So whoever he's around could be being advised by 3 people. One is an older person. One, it could be Pete Hegseth, cutting sharp weapons, and another one that's gay or bisexual. Heart and Crossroads, that's gay or bisexual.
Oh, like Peter Thiel.
So Peter Thiel. It also has to do with several trips that were made in regards to an affair. And that person is linked to a file. Pete Hegseth is in the files. And like I said, there's 3 men around him. Older one, possible veteran, Steve Bannon. Not Pete Hegseth, Peter Thiel. There's this other one here. That's the Scythe. Okay, that's the Jack of Diamonds. I don't know who that is. I said Peter Thiel, or yeah, not Peter Thiel. I said Hegseth because of the Scythe, and that person is making decisions with the military that require experience that he does not have. But it could be, if it's in reference to the relationships that were had, the affairs and the relationships that were had abroad, and deals that were made with somebody foreign, the results of that, trying to figure out a wise way to bury that report or those files. Letter, coffin, Lilies. Make that thing not come out to light, or at least redact it. Letter to Scythe, parts of it cut off. Do you see what I'm saying? But there's another man here. I don't know who that Scythe is. This person here was in the Navy, because this goes, it's the ship, JD Vance, the man, and then this. So I would think this would be like a Bannon. Veteran, Navy. Okay.
Okay.
I would think older, white hair, possibly had surgery, multiple surgeries, more than one. But he's looking at options on way to cut things out of a report, cut things out about trips that were made, cut something out about agreements and deals, multiple agreements and deals that were made long time ago, and promises that were made to be fulfilled or paid back down the road from the time they were made. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't have the whip, so I can't, there's nothing here about sex, but I see several trips and a couple of them get canceled. Travel and transferring, agreements with something foreign, affairs, and cutting stuff out of a report. And 3 men and 1 woman.
Cutting people out of the Epstein files. There's
a woman here. There is a woman here.
Sounds like his couch is safe for the month, though.
Yeah, this woman is dangerous to this person here. And she knights down to the coffin, and she knights down to the ring. So, but there's several trips around peace, or peaceful trips, where he's trying to get results, but he's mostly there trying to make deals. He's there trying to make deals on how to have choices or options taken away, if that makes sense. I know that was a lot, but
That was a lot, but that was good.
But it's heart, man, coffin. So at least know that this fucker will be miserable and depressed because he's not getting what he wants.
Rejected by his couch.
And it's ring, man, sight. So something that was promised to him, a promise that was made to him, gets cut off. So perhaps that whole thing with Peter Thiel and him jumping on the bandwagon that he was promised, oh, we'll get Trump out of there and we'll slide you right in. It's like he's seeing it evaporate. And it's all around trips, affairs, agreements, contracts, relationships, files of a dead person. So.
Well, looks like we got another month of checking obituaries every day.
I mean, hey, man, those few days when everybody thought he was dead was the most fun I've had in a long time. So let's do that again. That was a lot of fun.
He's obviously in mental decline. His speech at the UN just showed like he can't stay focused on anything. The weaving was awful, slamming everybody in the room. I'm surprised they didn't walk out on him like they did Netanyahu.
If somebody walked into my house and started talking to me like that, I'd say, get your ass out. Get out. Get how anybody left that mic on, they should have just said, you're over your time. Deal with it, and let him throw a fit like a freaking bitch. And then on top of that, embarrass him in front of the entire room full of people, of world leaders. You know? But whatever. I'm not running the show, so. But if Johnny and I and Jenny were running the show,
we'd call him on it.
Not only would we call him on it, we would shut off his mic. Johnny would get out the voodoo doll and pour pig's blood on him, a la Carrie, you know, and Jenny would go over there and kick him a few times.
I'd throw, instead of paper towels, I'd throw diapers at him.
And I would go over there and snatch his dirty ass wig off his head, you know? So, see, if the three of us were in charge, we'd have this place.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We had over 2,600, almost 2,700 at one point tonight. Thank you for all the super chats. I know I missed some, but thank you for all of those. Greatly appreciated. We are on Becca's channel, House of Lenormand, next Sunday. And Johnny and I'll fill you in on how the seminar goes.
Johnny and Jenny will be together on Sunday, right? With me?
Yeah, I'm going to take my laptop with me so we can hook up with you Sunday night.
And then Lena will be joining us as well. So it'll be a fun night. Both of these guys will be together and I won't be there, which I'm sad about, but.
I'm going to go eat and have my stretchy pants. Bring your stretchy pants to Portland. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, there's good.
Oh, don't get the Monte Cristo. That's not a Monte Cristo. That was not a Monte Cristo.
That was a bad time had by all. That's what that was.
Oh, Johnny, before we go, Stephanie's asking for you to poke the voodoo doll a couple more times.
He's in his coffin now.
He's in his coffin.
One more just for you, though.
Yep.
Right in the middle of the face. How about that?
One of my favorite memes of why the elevator got stuck was it had all the Epstein files down in it and they jammed up the escalator, not elevator, the escalator. So thank you all. We will see you next Sunday.
Hi, everybody.